Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. The sky above paradise was glowing with that soft, dreamlike light that makes everything feel dramatic in the best possible way. The waves kept brushing against the shore as if whispering secrets, and palm trees swayed like they were gossiping about who was falling for who. And right in the middle of this perfect postcard moment stood Onyeka, barefoot in the sand, clutching a rose that felt heavier than it looked, not because of its weight, but because of everything it suddenly represented. Paradise had been a whirlwind for her since the moment she arrived. She stepped onto the beach full of promise, confidence, and the kind of optimism that makes you believe anything could happen. And honestly, for a minute, it felt like that optimism was spot on. She was laughing, opening up, forming connections, and letting the warmth of the place soften her heart. She came in ready for sparks, ready for romance, ready for the electricity that makes even the most unsure person feel brave. But paradise has a funny way of reminding people that love isn't always smooth. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's confusing, and sometimes it sneaks up behind you and delivers a plot twist right when you least expect it. At first, Onyeka didn't want to admit that something was shifting. She noticed little things, pauses in conversations that used to flow effortlessly, glances that suddenly felt distant, hesitations where enthusiasm once lived. She tried brushing it off, telling herself she was reading too much into it, but she wasn't. Her intuition was sharper than she gave herself credit for. She approached the person she cared about, hoping to find clarity. She wanted honesty, not perfection. She wasn't asking for a fairy tale proposal or a dramatic declaration. She just wanted to know where they stood. She wanted something real, something steady. Instead, she found herself walking away from the conversation with more questions than answers. It wasn't that the person didn't care at all. They did. But care without effort feels like an echo of the real thing. And when someone gives you an echo instead of a voice, your heart notices. She tried to stay strong, cracking jokes and keeping her energy bright because that's who she is. Onyeka has this natural ability to light up any environment she enters. Even when she's hurting, she finds humor in the chaos. But deep down, she knew she deserved more than someone who kept hesitating when she was offering sincerity. So as the evening deepened and the stars began to scattle across the sky like confetti, Onyeka stood by the shoreline with that rose in her hand. It was supposed to symbolize romantic possibility, but suddenly it felt like a symbol of waiting for someone who wasn't ready to choose her. And that made her smile, not because it was funny, but because she realized how untrue that felt. She wasn't someone to be put on hold. She wasn't someone to be handled carefully like a backup plan. She was someone people fought for, someone who deserved certainty. She lifted the rose, looked at the waves, and said with a dramatic flair only she could deliver, "Honestly, I should just throw this rose in the ocean." Was she serious? Maybe. Was she being a little extra? Definitely. Did the entire beach hold his breath to see what she would actually do? Absolutely. The rose hovered there for a moment as if even it didn't know its fate. Then she laughed, that rich, warm, unapologetically genuine laugh, because suddenly the whole situation felt too silly to be sad. She didn't want to throw away the rose. She didn't want to throw away her hope. She just wanted to throw away the disappointment. Paradise doesn't define her. A rose doesn't define her. A confusing connection definitely doesn't define her. What defines her is her ability to choose herself, even when it's hard. She walked back toward the villa, and with every step, she felt more certain. She was done chasing someone who wasn't ready to meet her halfway. She was done trying to decode mixed signals. She was done wondering why she wasn't enough, because deep down, she knew she was more than enough. She was the right match for someone who would understand her heart the moment they saw it, not someone who needed time to decide if they liked the idea of her. Packing her bags felt strangely peaceful. Sure, she was emotional. Leaving always stings, especially when you walk away with unresolved feelings. But she wasn't defeated. If anything, she was empowered. She folded her clothes with the same confidence she walked in with, snapped her suitcase shut, and took one last look around the room that had held so many hopes. She stepped outside and breathed in the warm evening air one more time. The beach looked magical, like it wanted her to stay. The ocean shimmered as if it was calling her back. But she wasn't staying for nostalgia. She wasn't staying for almost love. She was leaving for herself. And the moment she started her walk down the sand, the final walk, the atmosphere shifted. Everyone knew it. Even the crabs probably paused their nighttime activities to watch. This wasn't a sad exit. This was a declaration, a graceful, confident, strong departure from something that didn't serve her heart. She bumped into a couple of her friends along the way, and they tried to convince her to rethink her decision, but she just smiled and hugged them tight. She said, "I'm good," softly. And she was. Not perfect, not healed, not floating on a cloud, but good. The kind of good that comes from knowing you listen to your inner voice. When she reached the edge of the beach, she paused one last time. She didn't look back because she regretted anything. She looked back because she wanted to honor the experience, the laughter, the sunsets, the conversations that made her heart flutter, the people who made her feel seen, even the heartbreak, because heartbreak means you were brave enough to try. Before stepping into the car, she glanced at the rose again. She didn't throw it. She didn't crush it. She didn't toss it dramatically into the sea, though the ocean probably would have swallowed it with applause. Instead, she held it gently and whispered to herself, "This isn't where my story ends." And she was right. Her exit wasn't a conclusion. It was the beginning of something bigger, a turning point, a transformation, the spark before a new chapter catches fire. She wasn't walking away from love. She was walking toward the love she knew she deserved. And to everyone following her journey, this moment wasn't about heartbreak. It was about strength, growth, self-worth, and trust in the universe's timing. Because sometimes love shows up in paradise. Sometimes it shows up after you leave paradise. And sometimes it shows up when you least expect it, with someone who looks at you like you're the very thing they didn't know they were waiting for. For Onyeka, the best chapters of her love story haven't happened yet. The plot is warming up. The universe is setting the stage. And her heart, brave, hopeful, full of fire, is ready for whatever comes next. So stay with her, because this adventure, it's just beginning. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.